Welcome back everyone to my hardcore Resident Evil 2 S Plus run, and here we're just walking out of the door, and we're just basically trying to leg this zombie so we can stun past him. Took a little bit longer than I expected, but we got there in the end. Mr. X is on the other balcony over there doing whatever he does when he's not seeing us. So we're just going to go through this door, and I believe, yeah, that is why you don't do what I did. I got jump scared, but I still should have taken care of this guy, because this time I got lucky and I was able to go around the long way and just avoid him completely. But sometimes he spawns right there at the door and you've got no chance to get away from him. He can bite you straight up. Now here's where I said about going downstairs. Now that you have the clover key, that's the place where you want to go downstairs if you're going to. There's a shotgun powder, there's a few things that you need, maybe couple of things that might be useful. Mainly it's just a decorative box for the stars badge to get the magnum, and since obviously we're not going for the magnum in this playthrough, we can ignore that for now. So coming down through here in this door, we're going to want to go to the right and stay to the right so that nothing spawns in that window to the left when we don't barricade it. That's the window that I said you might want to barricade, just so that guy's not there, and sometimes a guy will just be there randomly. So fortunately with the critical shot there, I was able to take that guy down. But sometimes, if you don't get a critical shot there, you might get bitten, and you might need to hustle it to the safe room, and you don't want somebody on your ass trying to bite you. So, we'll just use that big gunpowder there to combine with some shotgun powder to make a lot of shotgun shells. Only really want to use the big gunpowders for shotgun shells until you run out of those, and then you'll use normal gunpowder. The loadout for this is going to be the pistol, the ammo, the 2 electrical devices for the puzzle later on, down in the parking garage near the jail cell, and we're also going to want to take with us a flashbang, and I'll explain why when we actually use it later on. Now, as you can see here, I ended up going back through because obviously I'd forgotten the other electric part of the puzzle back at the clock tower, and that is why I really recommend that you make sure that you grab that as soon as you do the puzzle so you don't forget like I do, because I then had to come back to this box and use an extra healing item, and I think I ended up using a green herb just to get into caution so that they couldn't one-hit kill me. But it just saves you a whole lot of time, honestly. From that save room, you can just go straight down into the parking garage and just get everything done so much easier. But obviously, because I missed the electric part, it took me a lot longer. I had to go up this run another way, and also I get jump scared in here as well by that guy. I'm just really jumpy in this whole segment and a bit unsure because I've never had to come back here before. Well, I have, but I've never gotten that far down and then had to come all the way back. I've usually gone out of the room, gone to maybe where the zombie that I had to go the long way round, and then gone, oh, okay, I need to get that guy. See here, now this guy, I've got to leg him, I've got to waste more bullets. So just remember to get this electrical part, and I'll talk to you again when we're back in the parking garage for the puzzle. Okay, so now we're back here. As you can see, that guy that bust through the window earlier on is now lying down and kind of in the way, especially when I had to go back, so you might want to barricade that window, like I said before, just to avoid that. Also, I said that you need a stun for this area. Because I used up all my stuns earlier on in the playthrough like an idiot, I only had a hand grenade, and it ends up actually working out alright for me. But you generally still want to be using a stun grenade for this part. It's just safer, to be honest. And if you do the dogs in this parking garage, 3 dogs with a shotgun out of order, then you can just run straight through this part. But this is where you normally do them later on in the story. So here you put the 2 puzzle pieces into the puzzle. I find it actually easier to start working from the end of the puzzle because it has to be a straight line into the end of the puzzle. So then you can manipulate the pieces from that point, and it's just easier to do it from the end point than the 2 beginnings, I find. But feel free to pause the video and just leave it on that screen for the solution. Make sure you grab that first aid kit that's sneaky behind that toilet. Get the ID card so that we can get out of the garage. And then we run past these zombie cells, flip the switch. The tyrant's going to come down this hallway. All we're going to do is wait for him to come a little bit closer, and then we're going to do a wide girth around the room. He'll usually get to the point where he swings at you, but he won't usually hit. If he does, just keep moving. At this point he didn't swing at me. This is where you'd usually throw your flashbang and just go straight forward. The hand grenade actually ended up working for me, but that little stun there can cost you with Mr. X. The person on the floor, that's why we shotgunned him, because he can come up and bite you there, and then also cost you with Mr. X. It's basically just damage prevention for that run through before you leave the parking garage. I don't know why I'm saying parking garage like that. It's garage. I'm British, I'm not American. Why have I turned American while saying this word? Oh well. The next part here is just a green herb on the right, Leon can't crouch, and we basically just run through all the way up to the through the street to the gun shop, so I'll come back then.
Is that the intel you needed?
Unfortunately, no. Ben didn't come through.
Well, what exactly are you looking for?
More info on the people responsible for this mess. Road's out. Going through that gun shop looks like the only way.
Okay, so after Ada lets us into the gun shop, we're going to go over to the far shelf, get this grenade, get the long barrel for the shotgun, and we're also going to grab the ammo for the pistol off this side, and then trigger the cutscene. If you don't have the shotgun with you right now, you can use the item box right before the alligator chase just to quickly attach that so you don't forget later on. At least that's my personal suggestion. Now here it's literally just a linear run through the sewers until you get to the alligator, so I'm going to just let that play out.
That explains the horrible things I've seen.
And that's why I'm looking for Annette Birkin. She's the one at Umbrella responsible for unnecessary get.
Based on what you've said, the sewer seems fitting.
Well said.
Gee, thanks. Can't imagine a real scientist being down here.
According to HQ, this leads right into Umbrella's secret facility.
Come on. Sewers are run by the city. How could they have a facility without the authorities knowing? Jesus!
Okay, so right here, past these gratings, there's just going to be a little bit of 9mm ammo. You're going to want to grab that. There's about 8 shots there, so that's definitely worth picking up. Then we're just going to head through the tunnel, past the item box that, like I said, get the shotgun out. I think I do it here. Yep. Get the shotgun out, attach that, upgrade so that you don't forget for later on, because it is very useful, especially the fact that it lets you literally double the capacity of the shotgun at the cost of using it as a 2-slot weapon. But to be honest, I don't know anyone who uses the shotgun as a 1-slot 4-shot weapon anyway, because it's just not very good. But the part coming up, we've got the sewer gator chase. So just remember, you dodge to the left, then the right, and then the left. In hardcore mode especially, I think the alligator is a little bit faster. I'm not really confirmed that, but it would really suck if you died here. So just remember, left, right, and then left. Also, another quick thing I want to mention here is on this lunge here, he lunges, bites, and then he does a little bite there as well. You want to wait just a minute before you run across, or else he will snap you up and kill you like he did one of my first hardcore runs. That's not fun. So after you've blown the gator up, go ahead and grab that grenade in the rubble there, that'll help you out. And then it's just a straight shot to the elevator with Ada.
Son of a bitch.
up here.
What the hell was...
Just get up here. Can't say I didn't warn you.
You said the virus turned people into monsters, not reptiles.
Fair point. I'm just impressed you made it in one piece.
So let me get this straight. Umbrella sells monsters like that to who? Our military? Somebody else's?
They don't sell the monsters. They sell the viruses that make them. And Annette is who makes the viruses. As scary as that alligator was, Annette is far more dangerous.
And now we're exiting the elevator, going through this little grated door. And then after this door, we get the cutscene where Leon takes a bullet for Ada. And then afterwards, we end up as controlling Ada.
You can run,
So
Annette.
first of all, what you want to do is go to the ladder,
Hide.
trigger the cutscene, and then you want to use the visualizer to hit the switch here, and then just hit the fan. I don't really know why I'm explaining this part, to be honest, because this is integral gameplay for standard as well. It's not exactly a tip or a trick, it's more common sense if you've beaten the game, but oh well. I'm also going to try and show you the, I can't remember if I do actually show you the achievement of getting through this section without firing a single handgun bullet. I'm not sure if I actually do end up doing it. I know that it killed me when I was trying to re-record this with sound. That was not a fun time, especially dying at this section going all the way to G1 Birkin. Just make sure that you hit the switch for the door before you hop down so you don't have to deal with this zombie. But when I got sent all the way back to G1 Birkin, that pretty much ended it there and made me realise, yeah, I'd rather just do the voiceover for this rather than have to go all the way back and replay that over again. But here we're just running around. Here we run to the right, and then through this little gap here to avoid that zombie. It's just a straight shot down here. There will be a zombie that drops from the floor, from the ceiling, from the floor. He comes up from the floor. He's the resurrection of the Christ man. So you get that switch. Sometimes that lying down zombie can get up and grab you, and sometimes there can be two people that spawn on the way back instead of just this one guy. That's what happened to me. Both of them, I got really bad RNG and then just got hit 3 times and died, and it was just really bad. But it all depends on luck. Don't try and go for the achievement in hardcore mode. I would recommend, if you want to do the achievement, do it in standard mode. Because in hardcore mode, you want to be able to use that handgun to stun people if you need to get past. Because you can take one less hit and you're going to go a lot further back. So here, when you're about halfway on this green thing, aim, get that switch while the tyrant's chasing you for a head start, activate that switch, and then just use the one above, and then go for the fan while you're about here, I'd say. I do it a little bit late, but you can do the fan pretty much by the door, and then by the time that you actually get to the fan, it'll be exploding, you can slip on through. So after Ada's hobbled up all those stairs like an absolute champ, we get the ID card, get stuck in by Annette, and basically the puzzle is just, it starts with that switch, and then you go to 3 separate switches, and it's not too difficult. Like, if you've done it in standard, you know what to do. But it can be a little bit weird for someone who hasn't done it before. I don't know why you try hardcore as your first mode through the game, but just on screen is how you end up doing this puzzle. And I think my best time is something like 37 seconds remaining, so see if you can get better than that.
clearance confirmed. Your ID is authorized until October 1st. Please return before this date.
Not gonna happen.
Now Ada is the one that's been incapacitated, and the big boy hero Leon has to go and save her. So we just take this elevator up, we run down the stairs. There's going to be some 9mm pistol ammo on a pile of rubbish opposite where you drop down. It's mostly visible, it is quite visible, but some people might miss it, so I'm going to point it out here. And then we just wade through the tunnel. There's going to be a divergence. There's one to the right and to the left. Obviously the right's the way that you have to go. At the left, at the end, there is 2 shotgun shells, but if you get the shotgun shells, it then triggers an enemy to come force sooner, so then you have to use one of the shotgun shells on them pretty much, or a lot of pistol ammo. So it's just not really worth getting the 2 shots, to be honest. Just move to the right and save about 30 seconds, to be honest, especially when you're wading through the water. See, this is where about the enemy would be, on these stairs. Instead he's now up here, and you can easily just stun him on the legs and run straight past him. There's no need to do that. This guy in the hazmat vest, I would recommend shotgun him right now, because we're going to come for the rook later on, and we don't want him peeking around the corner and surprising us. Shotgun that guy as well. Honestly, you could probably just stun him with your pistol, and then just run straight through, because you're not going to be coming back to this area again. You're just going to quickly grab the rook and then go through the door that was on the left. So if you want to save a shotgun shell, be my guest. Honestly, I think it's worth just 1 shotgun shell instead of about 6 or 7 bullets. But we're going to leave that blue herb there until we come to the workers lift later. We just run through this section. There's some shotgun powder on the left here. Make sure you grab that. And then the way that we're going to deal with this G is by shooting it from about this distance away, letting it pop up, and then just running straight by it on the left. It's very important that you shoot it from a fair distance away, or when it pops up it will stun you. So if you can avoid that stun, the animation will give you plenty of time to just slip by on the left.
Interesting.
Or the right in terms of later ones, but on that one I'd recommend slipping by the left, because the right isn't much room, and that's where his arm is as well. So we're just going to come up here. There's some shotgun shells on the left in the chair. These ones are absolutely free, so you might as well pick them up.
Where'd she go?
We're going to ignore this locker on the left here, because that's some magnum ammo, and we're not using it obviously. And then we're going to come down here. We're going to skip the cutscene, and then this is actually where we're going to grab the pistol ammo on the side. It's not pistol ammo, because it's not standard. It saves, you don't need those. Well, actually you do, you need one of them. But this is where we're going to end the episode, guys. We're going to put our save in here at about an hour's time. Thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for the next episode, which will be coming out tomorrow.